In this live, I'm going to be discussing, who knows what I'll be discussing, but I know that time is up. It was only a matter of time, of course. The prophecy being fulfilled. Everything in the dark coming to light. The first will be last, and the last will be first. And here we are. Here I am. They'll expose themselves. They have nowhere to hide or they say in the end they'll start building these places for them to hide. But no one can hide from the face of God. But they will try. And God Himself says, when it is time, don't be like Lot's wife, where you turn around. No, stay just where you're at. Don't go back. You should know what time it is. This is the fulfillment. This is the end to the new beginning. This is putting on our new bodies. Time is up. We all knew it was going to come to be someday soon. There is always an end, and there's always a beginning. The ones that never gave up on redemption, and redemption. That redemption would come to us. Redemption would come to me. I mean, still to this day, I'm still here. I still believe. I speak these things. I still mean it. There was gonna come a day, whether you were so busy in your life, or whether you still remembered and always knew and was waiting, but there was always gonna come a day. And I speak of this day like it's today. But I mean, you could see it that way because time's up. Redemption has come. It was purposeful. It was meaning beyond things we could comprehend. Our sacrifice, dedication, our wounds, our soul sacrifice. Time has told on all. Time has showed itself and is showing. Look around you. Look how people are speaking, confessing, telling on themselves, trying to hide, trying their best. But no one can hide from the face of God. No one. Our Lord, our Master, our King, our Father, my friend, my baby, all those things. He was coming back. He said he would come back. Jesus Christ prayed a prayer for us because he was leading us in this world while he transcended into his new body. He prayed protection over us. That throughout it all, that we would still remain with joy in our hearts and our souls. Time's up. And the telltale signs are there, right in front of you. Every direction, every people. The Spirit confesses it. No one can close their eyes, no one can close their mouth to it. Time is up. When you had the chance to, you chosen. Now you have no choice but to speak. You have no choice but to see. You have no choice but to hear. It's everywhere. I spoke about this in a prior live. You should be able to see the times, the end times, not through numerology, not through astrology. No. Look around. Look in yourself. Hear what's going on. Miraculous things are happening. Miracles. Truth is being spread across the world. And no one, not the program, not the system, told us to do it. No, they didn't give us this truth. It was the Spirit that allowed for it. Look around. Time is up. I said, when you had the chance and the choice, now you don't. You don't have a choice. You don't. Not when it comes to truth, and no, you don't. Again, not when it comes to truth, the godly truth. You don't have a choice anymore. Meaning, you had time and now you don't, because time is up. Understand, when Jesus was here, he gave us time. He was our, what would you call it? A proceder or something like that when speaking to Father. He gave us time for whatever that may have been in your life, but he gave time. Right? If God was going to come, he gave time. If God is saying, oh, I'm delayed, but I will delay no longer, I'm sure that's written somewhere. I will no longer delay. Do you hear that? Do you see that? Like, truly see that today for what it is, for what it means. That he was coming, and then he delayed himself. But for the sake of the elect, he will no longer delay. For the sake of the elect, the few chosen elect, right? They even talk about the elect lady and her children. The elect. We know who the elect are. Time's up. Let's not even play these games. Let's not play like we don't know. I mean, they know. They know. Let's not play like you don't know. They, far as the people that you elect, those elect. You think those elect slash imposters don't know who the real elect are? You've elected someone to sit in a high, powerful seat. That person you elected knows they're not worthy, but they won't tell you that. But they know who is. They know who the seat belongs to, and it belongs to a worthy person. It belongs to God's elect. But they won't tell you that because, again, their purpose was to mock God and to see how when God looks down upon us, they see that we choose these imposters, these false shepherds to lead us. And they laugh, the ones in those seats, those imposters laugh at us. They laugh in the face of God. Their purpose was to mock my Father through us. Because that's the only way he can get to him is through us. Just the same, when Jesus was here, the only way that you could get to the Father is through Jesus Christ. And there it is. It is written. You see how it all connects? It all aligns? Close the book. You don't need the book. Unless you need the book. But if you've been walking in truth and you know the truth, just speak. Your spirit will confess these things. You won't need a script. You'll be the truth because the truth resides in you. Again, time is up. Look around you. Did I use numerology? Did I use any astrology? I did not. No, I did not. So, again, and again, and again, as we rehearse these things endlessly, why not? It's the truth. What else would you be doing? Who else would you be listening to? Oh, wait, you'd be hard laboring, wouldn't you? And that would be what your time would consist of. Or maybe even a distraction. We get it. The time is up. And I hope that brings some joy because I know it does when I'm reminded that the coming of my Lord is here, is here with me. All he has to do is snap his fingers. All he has to do is say, it's done. All he has to do is show himself. But he's here, he's there, he's everywhere. They're here. They're in front of your door, guarding it. They're on the four corners. They're everywhere. All they have to do is show themselves to you, but they're there. That's what belief is, to believe in the things that you cannot see, but just believe that it's possible. Believe in such existence. That's powerful to be able to do that. and not be able to see what your eyes can only see and hear only what your eyes can hear, but to hope and believe and have faith in something outside of you, higher than you. You should be proud to have been able to do that, because some don't and some don't want to. Some think twice about it. The time is up. And if you knew someone like me personally, which I'm sure only a few has, then just by knowing me, you would know that there was a God. I speak for myself. I know myself. And I know there's a God by knowing me. And just to hear those words makes sense, because the verses say that God is supposed to be in you, that he resides in you, and that you should be, oh, I meant to say interceptor or something like that, preceptors previously, but um intercede and stuff. But um when they see you, they're supposed to see God, right? That's what the verses say. But I close the book because I use my words, and I want to, it gives me more integrity and pride, to be honest. But it's because, and that's my point, knowing who I am, knowing myself. Again, I don't need anyone to know or see me, but I'm speaking for myself, that I've been able to be with myself, and I know there's a God. I knew there was. I knew there was. I always did. I always did. Without being boastful, without esteeming myself in any surface way. No, I am no better than anyone. It's just who I am. It's something in my soul. It's the true parts of me, right? The true parts that should be God. Exactly. But I always knew as a kid, especially when things weren't going right, I said things like, if I remember, like even if I didn't say it out loud, I said it in my mind, that there is a God, and I know he sees this. Yeah. I wouldn't say much else, because I was a kid, but I'd say, because I know it would be unfair. So I'd say, I know he sees this, right? I know Jesus sees this. I know he sees this, and I know what I meant when I said it. So there was no needing to explain it, especially if I was in a room by myself, just kind of not understanding like what just happened and what's happening to me in the situation. It's unfair, and I know Jesus sees this. Like, I know God sees this. So I always knew. I always knew. It's beyond words. I just had this thought of how it's been 30 years for me. And for someone else, it might have been longer. I get it. Because the thought was, I don't know what it, I do know why the thought came to my mind. Because I'm like, I've been here for 30 years. I had to go through this suffering for 30 years. I commend people that are older. It's admirable, right? And that's why it's such a blessing to make it to however age you are, just to make it. Because like the amount of labor, the amount of things you've witnessed or can witness is heavy, stressful. Like, I get it. How much that can weigh on the soul, the body alone. You know, people go crazy. And that's what I always say. I'm saying I like to keep my sanity. So I do take time away. I make sure. I make sure, even though it's a sacrifice, it takes away from the money I can make. I make sure, man, because it's not life to me, and it's not my passion. That's for sure, and it's just not. And even if it was, it's just the people. Because regardless if it's my passion or not, I still have to deal with people and their ways and their spirit. Most importantly, their spirit, because that's what it is. That's what's surfacing. That is what is surfacing. And once you realize that, you start to understand where the problem lies. What's the foundation of the issue? You need to get right with your spirit. You need to get right with yourself. That's the foundation. Now, of course, yes, eating healthy or drinking more water, nature, natural, holistic ways, blah, blah, blah. There it is. Yeah, yeah, for sure. But we're talking about the foundation. It's not her, it's not him, it's you, right? It's you, because so it is the world. So it is the world against you. Hmm? But understand, you're the one that's angry because of it. You're the one that's sad. You're the one that's in this state. You're the one that's now in your mind, in yourself, right? They call it depression. Now you're stuck and you can't shake it. What do you think your spirit is? What do you think your spirit's color is then? Your aura, your energy. What do you think? That's what's suffering. That's you. That's why you can't snap out of it. You need to heal. You need healing. You need understanding. You need knowledge. You need time. And people don't have that time. But I'm just giving you the truth. Whatever you do with it, reject it, say, I don't have time for it, time to heal, time to just heal. That's on you. But that's what it is. That's all that it is. But instead, if you're still laboring constantly, my goodness, it's making me upset, honestly. You're in his face, her face, catering to them, servant this, servant that, slave this, slave that. And on top of that, you hate it. How do you think that's helping your spirit, helping your energy? No. Whoa, no. You can't even recharge. You're barely sleeping. Now you go to them. Now they got you on anxiety meds. Now they got you on sleep meds. Now they diagnose you with this, that. So many things when you could have just been in this state. But again, you went to them because you don't have time. You can't afford it. You can't afford to stay home. You don't like it. You don't like isolation. You like to keep busy. Well, you're sacrificing. That was your sacrifice. Now you're on more poisons. It's okay to take an aspirin, right? Every once in a blue moon. Because me personally, I take an aspirin a few times a month for my cramps. That pain is unbearable where the body can't tolerate that sort of pain. And so there's been many times where I've been too late in taking my aspirin. The pain was already on, and my body, you know, that pain made me puke, nauseated. I would always be nauseated if I don't take anything because the pain is so excruciating. So that's one of the symptoms that I get. It turns my stomach naturally without me doing anything. It's just the pain, right? Just like you get pain and well, I can't compare it to that, but yeah. So, um, yeah. So you take it necessarily, but now sacrificing, choosing not to naturally heal because you don't have the time, or you don't believe that it'll help, you choose to self medicate. And understandably, again, everyone understands why people do it. Doesn't mean I have to accept it, doesn't mean that I condone it or I'll follow after what you're doing. But I understand. Um, it's just, the consequences, the sacrifice. You're sacrificing even more now. You're sacrificing your body. I mean, you're sacrificing everything, your mind, body, and soul, because none of those things can breathe easily now. None of those things can breathe naturally, right? Like if you were to be able to naturally sleep, you're no longer naturally sleeping the way that your body wants to. You're making it. It's an overdrive. It's it's fake synthetic endorphins. When people take synthetic melatonin, when that's in natural leaves, and like it's in natural things you can eat, you can take, as we know. But again, with all natural things, it takes time. Mm, it takes time. Yeah. And again, people can't afford time. People can't afford to wait. People don't want to, simply. Understandably. But that's your choice and your sacrifice and your consequences. You're not only choosing and sacrificing, but you're choosing and sacrificing to rather poison yourself even more, because there's natural things all around us, our essentials, that we may or may not know is the cause of our skin conditions and infections, diseases, whatever you want to call it. I have acne prone skin, sensitive skin. So that allows me to know things are potent naturally without people telling me. My skin will show it. The scars, the breakouts remind me, like, hey, you know that I've given you this sort of skin for a good reason. So don't always envy. Don't envy no one, right? And don't envy no one with better, you think has better skin than you or clearer skin. They're eating all this junk, and whether they know it or not, or is reminded or not, they can't see it quickly, right? That, oh, what they're eating is trash. Whether they know it or not, it doesn't show up the way it would on your skin. So bless your skin. Thank your skin. Thank God for it. Because immediately I have to stop using this soap. Oh, I can't use this fragrant. I can't use fragrant stuff. I can't, because it's all toxic. It's always been toxic, regardless if my skin broke out or not. But easily once I use it, it's there we go. After months of nice, clear, smooth skin, that one time that I try to be like everyone else. Oh, let me use this soap. It smells good. Or this is the new soap on the market. Or this lotion and this and that. And all that whole year of good progress, I wake up and I have freaking 7 new bumps on me, and that's 7 scars that won't won't fade until maybe 3 years. People with sensitive skin knows this, but to give you an example, I'm just saying all that to say, you know, you're sacrificing me, and I'd rather sacrifice just enough without putting extra sacrifice. It's the same with burden. I'd rather hold the burdens than take on more unnecessarily. I'm not going to abuse something I know it's not good for me. Already, I wouldn't prefer to take an aspirin, um, but it's what I have for the moment until I can figure out what I can eat constantly for my cramps to not just be better and lighter and pain, but no pain at all. And I know that takes time, and I know that takes consistency in something, especially if we're not eating a well balanced diet, especially if we're not getting movement in and if we're not getting the hydration. And I know that's where the deficiency lies. And I'm sure I have deficiencies if I'm not eating my leafy greens as I should, if I'm not getting enough water each day. And I say each day because I can get enough water today. But that's not the way the body works. Like, this ain't okay, I can fill up today and be good for a month. No, I'm I was gonna say secreting, but my body is like it. Let me take my time. My body, okay, has a waste system, and it shows up in different ways. But in all of those ways, what I take in comes out. What I take in is being absorbed, used to heal, rejuvenate, renew my cells, my organs, everything is being used. So thank God for just hydrating because it's necessary for everything, right? Even my mouth, I can have dry mouth because I'm not hydrating. And that source of water is just for the mouth, let alone for my skin, my scalp, my eyes, the moisture for my lips to keep them nice and smooth. I'm a woman. I have a flow. Everything to be flowing. Yeah. Like a living water. Like living water, right? So, and we could continue. If you're a pregnant woman, you need milk to be producing. So you need the source of water every day because everything needs it. They say we're made up of water. Okay, well, not if the garden is dry. Not if there's no water. You gotta water you. You gotta keep water in you. There. Whereas, well, if I was to abuse as in if I was to continue taking on more burden, more things unnatural. I can get away with a little bit of face potion, right? Excuse me. Because right now that's what I have, right? Some lotion for my face. I can get away with that and still know that's still not the healthiest thing. Even if I'm looking for the most pyridine free and preservative free, even so, it's still what it is, right? I can get away with that. I can be okay with that. But I'm not gonna sit here and be asking for more synthetic, genetic, modified things to genetically modify me and my DNA. Like, I'm not going to be looking for that to be the situation. I'm not going to be trying to ask for those things to happen. And so, yeah, when it comes to the sacrifice, I'd rather do it the natural way as much as I can, as much as I can. So if I'm having sleep issues, which I don't, understandably, I'm just saying my theory, okay? I understand that's a tough thing, but I'm gonna do everything in my power. Shoot, experiment on yourself before I even go to them and add more synthetic lifestyle materials and all that to my life. To my life. Again, to me, the cure is to regulate yourself, but that takes time. It takes sacrifice, meaning you need to make time for yourself. If you're a workaholic, if you work 5 days a week and you always work another a sixth day, no sir, no sir. And if you're working 5 days a week, you should only be working 8 hours a day or 9 hours a day. Anything after that is overtime, I believe. So that should be an option. And they should be paying you more for it, of course. But again, you can still make time. So I'm saying being a busybody is your choice. And I'm saying, yeah, for a season, yeah, you can make your extra overtime when necessary. But if you're taking it seriously and you're wanting to regulate your body naturally, then you have to take time away from everything. I mean, I'm not saying you can't watch TV. I'm just saying you need to be home alone, able to calm your nervous system, and then start doing the work. Start experimenting. If you need to set alarms, set alarms. If you don't, then don't. Start looking up foods that have natural melatonin. Again, regulating your system, regulating your nervous system, regulating your body, regulating your mind, and it starts with just you. You have to take care of you. When you're taking care of everyone else, okay, that's your nervous system overriding. What do you need? How can I help you? Can I have this? Can I have that? Can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? Can you do this for me? Can you do that? On top of that, you're getting yelled at, scolded. People got attitudes. Someone might even physically harm you. But for the sake of money, for the sake of money, or I guess life to survive, you'll deal with that. okay, for the sake of your life as well, you can deal with this. Taking time off, regulating your system for the sake of you and your natural body and your spiritual body, for the sake of those things, for the sake of eternity, for the sake of sanity, for the sake of your soul. Time is up. Time is up. Isn't that exciting? Now that I'm saying it, it is exciting. Because what does that even mean? Time is up. What does that even mean? It means that Father will be here. I'll be able to see him. I'll be able to be home again. That's what that means. Time is up. Who's at the door? My Father. Who's at the door? You, Father. And everyone knows it. Everyone. Don't just take it from me. Open your ears. Look around. Hear what's going on. You should not have no fear. If you know who you are and you've been who you should have been, and that should have been who you are. You should have no fear if you knew God was in you the whole time and was here. There should be no fear. Not from you, right? Not from me. But from them, for sure. And you see why there'll be fear. Because our Master, our Lord, our Father, our Shepherd has come back for us. To labor no more, to suffer no more. To go back home. Why fear? They talk about aliens. I'm an alien. Why would I be scared of other aliens if I'm an alien? I don't belong to this world. I'm only here temporarily, remember? I don't have fear about those things when they talk about the aliens. I'm an alien. I know why they're here, just like I know why I'm here. And we're here among you. And you can see the difference. You can see the difference in an alien of this planet versus someone that is from this planet. They don't see nothing wrong with their ways. They can live this way. But an alien cannot, they can't get with it. They'll have an issue. There's no comfortability. It's misery. Because it's ultimately a prison. Right? It's a prison for them. They are not in their own home. They're not in their own world. And they can't leave, so they're captive. They lay captive here until they're set free, until they're motherboard, until Father, you see, comes back for us, and he comes back for me. He comes back for us. And I'm sure for whoever wants to come. Because he speaks about that. And he prays also for them, right? Them that are innocent of this world. Because it's not just the evil is not just against me, it's against everyone, right? That doesn't align with them. whether you're from this world or not, because you see how corrupt and how low they can go. I'm sure their own people question it. Their own people are turning against them. Mhm. So time is timing, and time has always told the truth. And I'll leave it there.